Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today we're diving headfirst into the fascinating world of language, specifically those tricky little phrases we call idioms. And not just any idioms, but the kind that echo through the halls of businesses everywhere. Ever sat in a meeting, nodding along, pretending to understand what move the goalpost means? Yeah, we've all been there. But fear not, because in this video we're demystifying common business idioms, making them clear, concise, and maybe even a little bit fun. So grab your metaphorical hard hats, because we're about to break ground on some linguistic construction. Let's get started. First up, we have the cash cow. Now, imagine a dairy farm, right? You've got your cows peacefully munching on grass, but the real magic happens when it's milking time. That steady stream of milk, that's your profit. A cash cow is a product, service, or even a whole business unit that consistently generates a lot of revenue. Think of it like this: Apple's iPhone, total cash cow. It's been a reliable moneymaker for years, and even as they introduce new models, the older ones continue to bring in the big bucks. So, next time you hear someone talking about a cash cow, you'll know they're not talking about a literal bovine, but rather a source of consistent financial success. Ever been lost in thought, only to have someone snap you back to reality with a playful penny for your thoughts? It's a casual way of saying, hey, what's on your mind? Now we all know a penny isn't much these days. You can't even buy a gumball with it. But the phrase isn't about the actual monetary value, it's about acknowledging that someone's thoughts have value, that their perspective is worth something, even if it's just a symbolic penny. So in a business context, using this phrase can be a nice way to draw out someone's opinion or encourage them to share their ideas. Money. It can't buy happiness, as the saying goes, but it can certainly influence a lot of things. And that's precisely what this idiom highlights. Money talks implies that financial resources often speak louder than words. It suggests that money has the power to sway opinions, open doors, and even silence opposition. Think about lobbying efforts, for example. Companies with deep pockets can often influence legislation in their favor, simply because they have the financial resources to do so. It's a cynical view perhaps, but one that reflects the reality of how money can shape decisions and outcomes in the business world. Chapter 4. A dime a dozen. The problem of plenty. Picture this: a giant barrel overflowing with something, let's say, rubber ducks. There are so many that they're practically worthless. You could buy a dozen for a mere dime. That's the essence of a dime a dozen. It describes something that's incredibly common, readily available, and therefore not very valuable. In the business world, this might refer to a product with a ton of competition, a skill that everyone and their dog seems to have, or even ideas that lack originality. So if you're pitching something as unique or groundbreaking, you better make sure it's not just another rubber duck in a sea of sameness. Chapter 5. In the red, a sea of debt. Remember those old-school accounting ledgers, the ones with columns of numbers meticulously written in black and red ink? Well, those weren't just stylistic choices. In the red signifies a state of financial loss. When your expenses exceed your income, when you're drowning in debt, you're officially in the danger zone. It's like being stranded on a sinking ship, with the red ink representing the rising water levels. Not a good look for any business. So, the goal is to stay afloat, to keep those numbers black and avoid the dreaded red that signals financial trouble. Chapter 6. Break the bank, spending spree, or financial ruin. Imagine this. You're a kid again, staring at your piggy bank with dollar signs in your eyes. You want that shiny new toy, but it costs every penny you've saved. Breaking the bank means spending all your money on something, often impulsively or without considering the consequences. Now, in a business context, it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes you have to take calculated risks, make significant investments that might seem like breaking the bank in the short term. But the key is to make sure that investment pays off. Otherwise, you'll be left with nothing but a pile of broken piggy bank pieces. Chapter 7. Put your money where your mouth is. Actions speak louder. We've all met those people, the ones who talk a big game but never seem to back it up with action. Well, this idiom is all about calling out that kind of empty boasting. Put your money where your mouth is challenges someone to support their words with concrete actions, and more often than not, those actions involve a financial commitment. It's like saying, if you really believe in this idea, then invest in it. Show me you're serious. So, whether it's putting your own money on the line or investing in a project you believe in, this idiom emphasizes the importance of aligning your actions with your words. Chapter 8. Tighten your belt. Embracing frugality. Imagine this. You've had a few too many indulgent meals and your clothes are feeling a little snug. Time to tighten that belt. In the financial world, tightening your belt means cutting back on spending, embracing a more frugal lifestyle. It's about making do with less, finding creative ways to save money, and prioritizing essential expenses. This could mean cutting back on unnecessary subscriptions, cooking at home more often, or finding more affordable alternatives to your usual purchases. It's not always the most glamorous solution, but sometimes tightening your belt is necessary to weather a financial storm or achieve your long-term financial goals. Chapter 9. Pay through the nose. The price of desperation. Ever had that sinking feeling when you realize you've been overcharged for something? Maybe it's a last-minute plane ticket, a repair you didn't see coming, or that antique you just had to have. Paying through the nose means shelling out an exorbitant amount of money, often because you're in a vulnerable position or desperate for a solution. It's like the universe is holding your wallet hostage, and you're forced to pay a king's ransom to get what you need. So the next time you're about to make a big purchase, make sure you're not getting ripped off and forced to pay through the nose. Chapter 10. Bite the bullet. Embracing the inevitable. Imagine a time before modern medicine where surgery was a brutal affair. To endure the pain, patients might have literally bitten down on a bullet. Thankfully, we've moved on from those barbaric practices, but the idiom remains. Biting the bullet means confronting a difficult or unpleasant situation head-on, even if it's painful or uncomfortable. In business, this could mean making a tough decision, delivering bad news, or tackling a challenging task that you've been putting off. It's about facing your fears, accepting the inevitable, and just getting it over with. Chapter 11. Money is the root of all evil, a seductive lie. This idiom is a bit of a doozy and it's often misquoted. The actual saying is, the love of money is the root of all evil. Subtle difference, but an important one. It's not money itself that's inherently evil, but the insatiable desire for it, the greed and lust for wealth that can drive people to do terrible things. Think about corporate scandals, Ponzi schemes, or even petty theft. Often, it's the relentless pursuit of money, the desire for more that leads to ethical lines being crossed. So, while money itself is a tool, it's how we use it, and more importantly, how we let it control us, that determines whether it becomes a force for good or evil. And there you have it, a crash course in business idioms. We've explored everything from cash cows to biting the bullet, hopefully with a few laughs and aha moments along the way. Remember, language is a powerful tool, and understanding these idioms can help you navigate the often confusing world of business with confidence and flair. So, go forth, impress your colleagues, and maybe even slip a few of these into your next meeting. Just kidding, sort of. But seriously, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more insightful and hopefully entertaining content. Until next time!